Thanks to Omaze for sponsoring today's video. Learn more at omaze.com/Andy. It seems like it's an unwritten rule that when you get a Tesla, you must start making YouTube videos about it. I'm obviously a culprit of this when I started making videos about my Model 3, which led to me becoming Tesla's top referrer and earning 2 free Roadsters. But I also earned enough money from YouTube ads on my Tesla videos to pay for my Model 3. So I've kind of been able to get 3 free Teslas simply as a result of creating helpful, high-quality YouTube videos. Now what's really cool is now any Tesla owner has a chance to win a car, since Tesla is giving away a Model Y monthly and a Roadster quarterly to a random owner with at least 1 referral. I get a lot of questions about how I make my videos and what equipment I use, so this video is for you if you want some guidance or inspiration for making YouTube videos yourself. All the products I mentioned in this video will be linked in the description below. Of course, it all starts with my camera. I've been a Panasonic Lumix user since 2014, where I started with the GH4, and since 2017, I've been a satisfied GH5 user. I think the Panasonic GH5 is the absolute best YouTube camera for under $1,500. I own 2 of these, and here are some reasons why I love it so much for making videos. It's mirrorless, so it's compact and lightweight. The image quality is excellent. It shoots in 4K up to 60 frames per second, so it allows for smooth, slow motion and a very high resolution. It's easy to use. It has no individual video recording time limit. It has long battery life and has never overheated on me, which seems to be a problem with other manufacturers. I won't name any names. It also has dual SD card slots, so I'd never have to worry about losing footage due to a corrupt memory card. And one of my favorite features is the in-body image stabilization, which is the best I've ever used in any camera. It really helps smooth out any jitters when shooting handheld footage, which I do a lot when filming my videos. Now, the one downside is the autofocus. Even though the autofocus works great for focusing before recording, the continuous autofocus during recording is not very good, so I leave continuous autofocus off, which is what most people should probably do anyway, no matter what camera they're using, especially if you're filming something that isn't moving. I see so many YouTube videos where people are using continuous autofocus on themselves when they're literally in the same spot the entire video. Whatever you use, try not to rely on continuous autofocus and just use the autofocus before recording. That's what I do. Now, any day now, Panasonic should be announcing the new GH6, which is most likely what I'll upgrade to once it's out, but I'm sure even then, the GH5 will still be a great choice for many YouTubers. Now, if you have a smaller budget and want a camera that does about 90% of what the GH5 does for less than $1,000, check out the Panasonic G9. I have its predecessor, the G85, as my C cam, but the G9 is probably the best mirrorless micro four thirds camera at that price range. Next up are my lenses, which are possibly more important than the camera. As you get into these higher end cameras, you'll quickly realize that lenses play a huge factor when it comes to image composition, image quality, and getting a certain look out of a camera. And they can even be more expensive than the camera body itself. Now, as I show you my lens collection, I'll include some footage that I shot with each lens so you can see the differences. Now, for Panasonic cameras like my GH5, the most versatile, best all-around lens is the Lumix 12-35 zoom lens. This is equivalent to a 24-70 lens on a full frame camera, so this provides a very useful focal length range from wide to close up. It also has built-in optical image stabilization in the lens itself, so when you pair it with a GH5, it's what Panasonic calls dual IS, and it helps stabilize the small jitters and shakes better than any other camera lens duo, so this setup is the best for handheld footage. I also like to use this lens for mounting in my car because it helps reduce the shakiness of all the bumps from driving. Now, an even better way to win a Tesla is through today's sponsor, Omaze, who is giving away a custom Tesla Model X Performance plus $20,000 with the car's taxes and shipping costs covered. The Model X is quite possibly the most desired Tesla. In addition to the Model X's roomy interior, 300 plus miles of range, and ludicrous acceleration, this particular one has been completely customized by the world-class team at Unplugged Performance, including 22-inch wheels, a carbon fiber spoiler, a matte white exterior wrap, and red leather accents on the inside. For this giveaway, Omaze has teamed up with the Juju Foundation, which is a nonprofit organization dedicated to the support of youth initiatives and lifting the spirits of those in need. These initiatives include Juju's Great Bicycle Giveaway, which provides bicycles and locks to undeserved youth around the country and in American Samoa during the holiday season. Visit omaze.com/Andy for a chance to win a custom Tesla Model X Performance plus $20,000 and to help support a great cause. Now for the most cinematic look, I have what some people call the best lens of all time, which is the Sigma 18-35 art lens. Now when this is paired with a Metabone Speed Booster Ultra adapter, it lets in more light and allows for an even shallower depth of field for more bokeh, which is that blurry background look. Now this lens setup gives an equivalent look of about 25 to 50 millimeters on a full frame camera. So not only is it a very useful focal length range, the aperture can go down to f1.8, which makes it good for low light and getting that sweet creamy bokeh. Now this is a pretty heavy lens setup, so it's not great for vlogging, but it's my go-to zoom lens for getting really cinematic shots on the GH5. For vlogging, I like to use this Tokina 11 to 16 millimeter lens paired with the Speed Booster adapter. It has autofocus, and when it's at 11 millimeters, it is the widest possible without having a fisheye look to it. Now this lens itself doesn't have image stabilization, but the wider a lens is, the less noticeable jitters and shakes will be. So since GH5 has built-in image stabilization, like we said before, this is not only great for vlogging, but I also like to mount it in my car while driving, especially since it's wide enough to show more of the scene, like for showing both people in the front seats at the same time, compared to my Lumix 12-35 lens, which isn't as wide. Now for vlogging, I also still use my old tried and true Joby GorillaPod because I'm too cheap to upgrade to a Switch pod. But seriously, the GorillaPod still works great for what I need it to do. I don't vlog a ton, but when I do, this does the job. Now I've never owned a GoPro, but I'm really interested in the new Hero 9, which I may end up getting, but in the meantime, if I need a tiny wide-angle fisheye camera, I use this Yi 4K action cam. I bought this a couple years ago because it was the best 4K action cam for around $100. Super affordable. It's definitely not as good quality as the latest GoPro, but it has worked great so far for the low price, and it comes in handy when I need a quick, simple, and small camera to mount on my windshield when driving to get a wide shot of the interior of my car. Now my last camera is one of my favorites, the DJI Mavic 2 Pro. This is the best 4K drone I've ever used. I bought this after the winds of Scotland took my original Mavic, which was never to be seen again. So if you're ever on the Isle of Skye and you find a drone, hit me up. But it worked out in the end because the Mavic 2 Pro records amazing quality video, and I use it to get all the cool aerial shots of my Tesla and of other scenery as well. A drone like this will definitely take your videos to the next level. And since we're talking about drones, I guess I should talk about my gimbal of choice, which is the Ziontech Crane Plus. I got this a few years ago and it has served me well so far. It allows for smooth, stabilized moving shots with my GH5. I like to use it for when I need to walk with the camera either to and from an object or around an object. There is supposedly a new DJI Ronin gimbal coming out very soon that I might upgrade to, or I might get the Ziontech Webuild S, which I've heard is also great for the GH5, but for now, my Crane Plus is still good enough to get the job done. I also have this cool battery-powered Edelkrone slider that I rarely use anymore because the GH5 image stabilization and slow motion is so good that I mostly do my slider movements handheld, but every once in a while I'll get this out to get a nice, slow, smooth cinematic shot. Now this is cool because it has Bluetooth built in and it works with, albeit a clunky app, but it lets me control the movement from my phone, which is nice. Now, many people ask about the mount I use in my Tesla, so here it is, the Fat Gecko camera mount. Fantastic name, by the way. And this thing is built like a tank. It has dual suction cups with a normal tripod mount, so it works with basically any camera. It also has an adjustable arm with 360 degrees tilt, turn, and rotation, and it holds up to 8 pounds, which is more than enough for any of my camera setups. So anytime you see footage from within my Tesla, this is the mount I'm using. Of course, I also have a tripod mostly for when I'm filming myself, but it also comes in handy when I'm filming B-roll and I need something sturdy and stable. This Kayer BV30L is the best video tripod I've found for only $150. Not many tripods at this price come with a fluid head, but this one does, and it works pretty well. It allows for smooth pan and tilt movements. It also comes with a quick release plate and goes up to 72 inches, which was one of the main reasons I bought it. I'm 6'4", so I need a tall tripod. I also have this Glide Gear teleprompter that mounts to the tripod and allows me to use my iPhone or iPad to talk directly into the camera while reading the script through the mirrored glass, which is something I started doing last year, and I like this setup a lot. The teleprompter app I use is Prompt Smart Pro, which costs a few dollars, but worth it for the time it saves me in editing. Now, I also have a Suri monopod with a Manfrotto MVH 500AH fluid video head, which is one of the most underrated video creation tools. I love to use this when I want to get smooth pan and tilt shots while not having to move around a heavy, bulky tripod. And this monopod setup is perfect for not only being able to move around quickly and get steady, smooth pan and tilt shots from different angles, but I also like to use it to hold my microphone in front of me when I record my talking head A-roll. That, of course, leads us into my audio gear. One of the best things you can do to improve video quality is to improve audio quality by getting some high quality microphones for different occasions. Now, my main microphone is the Zoom H5 recorder paired with the SSH6 shotgun capsule, which I use when I'm speaking into the camera in my office like I'm doing now. I've been using this for years and I still haven't found a reason to move on from it. It sounds amazing, and the H5 can be used with other interchangeable capsules such as the XY capsule for recording high quality ambient sounds. If I'm not in my office, I have a couple other options. Sometimes I'll use my Tascam DR10L for when I need a lav mic setup where the wired mic clips onto my shirt. This works well when I'm moving around and far away from the camera. Now, if I'm vlogging or close up to the camera but away from my studio, I like to just use the Rode Video Micro shotgun mic that attaches to the top of my camera and plugs into the mic jack. Now, for recording voiceovers, I like to use the most popular USB microphone, the Blue Yeti. I did an entire review over this mic if you want to check that out. It's definitely worthy of the attention. My lighting setup is probably the least impressive out of all my gear. It's a simple umbrella lighting kit that I got on Amazon a few years ago when I first started doing YouTube videos. It works fairly well, especially if you are looking for something very affordable. A simple lighting kit like this will make your videos look so much better if you don't use any lighting at all. However, I think it may be time for me to upgrade to a better lighting solution, so if you have any suggestions, let me know. Now, for video editing, my main machine is the 27-inch 5K iMac, and my mobile editing machine is my 13-inch MacBook Pro. Now, since I'm primarily a Mac user, I chose Final Cut Pro as my main video editing software years ago, and I've been satisfied with it ever since. Now, the good thing with my whole setup is I'm able to edit 4K videos from my GH5 directly in Final Cut Pro on either of my Macs with no issues whatsoever, and I don't even have to use proxy media. Now, for motion graphics, I like to use various Final Cut Pro plugins, mostly from videohive.net. So that pretty much wraps up all my YouTube video gear and how I make my videos. I hope this helped you out and gave you some inspiration for making your own videos or improving your own YouTube videos in some way. Let me know your favorite piece of YouTube gear in the description below. If you enjoyed this video, make sure you give it a thumbs up and subscribe to see more tech videos in the future. My name is Andy. Thank you for watching. I'll talk to you in the next one. Thanks to Omaze for sponsoring today's video. Learn more at omaze.com/Andy.